Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor. Today I'm going to show you how you can stop duffing your chip shots. I see so many people getting themselves in good positions like we have here. They're not very far from the green. All they've got to do is get it on 2-putt, maybe get it on 1-putt. And what they do is they stab and they duff the chip shot, and it really does ruin the golf score. So today's all about stopping you from duffing the chip shots, a couple of different ways. So I'm going to start with the easiest way first. I just think the easiest way to stop duffing chip shots is stop trying to hit chip shots. The first thing I see is that people don't actually have the right picture in their head of what a chip shot is. They're picturing a soft shot going up in the air, landing and stopping. That's called a pitch, that's not a chip. The easiest way to improve your chipping, and I've said it before and I'll continue to say it, is let's just get the ball running. So there's very little technique involved, and the reason people do duff chips, and I'll get onto that more later, is their technique. They're using a lofted club and they're doing a few things they think they should do which is wrong, and they're overcomplicating it. Really? If I just get that in my hand and I just think I'm going to let the ball roll, that's not a bad result. Very little can go wrong with that because we're not interacting with the ground. We're just allowing the loft of the club to get the ball rolling. And it's then a case of, what length of swing do we need to get that happening? Very little can go wrong, but when we start hitting chip shots and we get different angles of descent and angles of attack, you can hit the ground and flub it or chili dip it. It's just doesn't need to be that complicated. Now, you can use a hybrid as I just used. I'm a bit of a weird cat and a bit of a weird golf pro. There is nothing to stop us from using a driver. So I'm just going to let the club hit the golf ball, get it rolling, and it's not a bad result. I just pushed it a bit. It's pin high. There's very little can go wrong with that technique. So the very first thing I would get you to do would be to try to just use this strategy. I'm not even telling you how you stand and how you swing. It's just getting up there, getting the club, gripping it. It's a bit awkward with the driver because it's length. And really, just get the ball rolling. Let it roll and it'll end up somewhere up near that flagstick. Okay, the second way I'm going to get you to stop duffing chips is I'm going to change your technique. This is a really simple technique, and it starts, and you can use any club really. This is a longish chip, so I'm going to use a club with less loft, but if we were closer, you could easily use a lofted club for this method. So the first part of this method is we have to make a grip change. And the reason we make the grip change is to eliminate our hands. We don't really want to move our hands about like that when we chip. That's more of a pitch. So when we're chipping, we want more of a putting swing. I could say wrist locked method. It's not really locked, but it's certainly more secure. So the first grip change that I would do, normally when we grip, we do a grip like that. What I recommend you do for this is we turn both hands, the left hand to our left, right hand to our right. And by doing that, we're getting the hands under a little bit. So you can see there my thumbs are sort of down at about a 30-degree angle, something like that, whereas normally my thumbs would be in that position there. So by getting our hands under, that helps to lock our wrists and it's hard to use them. The second thing is we want to stop the leading edge digging into the ground when we chip, and it's that reason that people duff chips the most. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and turn the club and put it on the toe of the club. So by doing that, there's less surface area that can get stuck in the ground. So in doing that, we've got our grip change and we're getting the club resting on the toe. That gets my shaft a little bit more vertical. So with those two changes, it helps me to keep my wrists out of the shot and enables me to use a type of putting stroke, and that's really what we want. So we want to limit our interaction with the ground, and by resting that club on the toe, there's very little surface area there that can get stuck in the ground. From there, it's really just learning to keep the club low to the ground, both back and through, and then it's a case of what length of swing do we need. The longer the swing, the further the carry is going to be. The shorter the swing, the less the carry is going to be. And then we just allow the loft of the club to do the job for us. So I'm going to hit a shot here. So we do the grip change. Ball is in the middle of our stance, and we really don't want a lot of forward shaft lean, because the more forward shaft lean we get, the more this sharp leading edge gets the opportunity of digging into the ground, and if that digs into the ground, we're in big trouble. So just a little bit of, tiny little bit of forward shaft lean, but keep it fairly neutral. So we'll see how we go with this. Ball roughly in the middle of the stance. Ball's just landed on the edge, and then it's rolling up. Just pulled it a little bit, but that's not too bad a shot. So it's much easier than you think. You can actually hit it quite thin. I actually hit that a little thin. You're not going to make incredible contact on these shots. It really is all about just getting the ball rolling. So we'll do that again. I'll just aim it a little bit further right. Hands under, shaft more vertical, ball in the middle, and from there, length of swing. Just landed on the edge of the green, rolling up. That's not a bad shot. So I don't mind which method you use. One is easier than the other. They're both pretty simple, but the hybrid or the driver or the 5-wood is so easy it's ridiculous. And if everyone just did that, they would find they would get much better at chipping. So all of those chips there are a reasonable chance of having a 1-putt. So give it a go. I'd love to know how it goes. Send me a message, send me an email. I always love interacting with people, and give it a go, and I'm sure you're going to lower your score. Thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.